Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of KSPHQ's Adventures in Fundraising, a telewebitextathon. I'm Allie, the development officer here at KSPHQ, and I am so happy and so excited to be with you here again today for our second day of our nearly 24-hour fundraiser. We'll be streaming across all of our platforms again today to raise money for comprehensive suicide prevention, education, support, and crisis services provided by the Kansas Suicide Prevention HQ through our 2 programs, Headquarters Counseling Center and the Kansas Suicide Prevention Resource Center. We'll be streaming today at 10 a.m., which is now 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Be sure to tune in every hour to hear some really great information about KSPHQ and how you can learn to support this incredible organization and how you can make a huge difference in the lives of those in your community. First things first this morning, I want to start off with a video from our media sponsor. We want to thank Kansas Public Radio for being such a good friend to us, so I'm going to turn it over to their video.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christy Emmel, and I work for Kansas Public Radio. And KPR is a proud media sponsor of this event, the Adventures in Fundraising, the telewebitextathon. And KPR is so excited to partner with the KSPHQ for this event because it is such a needed service right now. KPR and KSPHQ are actually similar in a number of ways. We reach 100,000 listeners every week, and we provide our service for free, just like the KSPHQ. We've had many listeners reach out to us to let us know that KPR is their constant companion. It's on all the time, and it's also been there for a few of our listeners when no one else was. And that's what the KSPHQ does. They're there for the people who need it at their time of crisis. And we want to help support that mission to help people in their time of crisis. And it seems like nowadays there's more people in crisis than ever. So that being said, if you can, please consider a donation to the KSPHQ. It is such a needed organization right now. And if you're so inclined, please visit kansaspublicradio.org. You can find out more information about our radio station, about our great music programs, locally produced music programs, about our news broadcasts. We broadcast National Public Radio. We also have our own local news team that brings you the local news as well. So it gets you all the great local news and music that you can want. And if you're so inclined, think about considering becoming a listener member of KPR. They are our biggest chunk of support. So thank you all so much for being here on whatever platform you're on. And I hope you have a great day, evening, whenever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much to Kansas Public Radio. I have some amazing news to share with you all about what happened during the down hours of our fundraiser last night. No, I really can't even call them down hours because you guys showed up. We had an amazing amount of money donated to us last night, and I want to thank everybody involved. First, I want to send a thank you to a wonderful ally of ours, Joy Costin, who is running for Kansas State Senate right now and who has been an advocate for mental health for her entire career. Thank you so much, Joy, for your incredible contribution. We also want to thank Susie from Texas, Martha from Colorado, and Sean from Oklahoma, who all gave via our website, KSPHQ.org. And then again, we want to thank Courtney from Missouri, who texted KSPHQ to the number 44321. We are getting amazing support, not only from inside Kansas, but also from around the nation. And that serves as a wonderful reminder that this is a cause that unites all people, and we can all work toward this essential goal. Suicide is preventable. The will to live is strong and difficult for most people to overcome. Many people who consider suicide don't actually want to die. They're in deep emotional pain and anguish, and suicide, for many, is the only way they know how to end that pain. We know that through compassion, means restriction, and professional intervention, that suicide is preventable. And that's why we need your support. We need the support of you, your friends, your family, and your community. We can all come together and build the kind of culture that we want to see. Together, we can save the lives of those who need it most. There are multiple ways that you can donate to KSPHQ. You can go to our Facebook page and click that big blue button on the right side of the screen. You can go to our website, kspHQ.org, and click the donate button. You can text KSPHQ to 44321, or you can call us this morning. I don't hear any phones yet, but that's okay. I know they'll start ringing at 785-841-9900. And don't worry, all of that information is going to be pasted in the description of this video wherever you're watching. Now this morning, I want to introduce Jared. He's going to show us a video about our volunteer training process and the newest updates about 988.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jared Otten, and I'm the training coordinator at the Kansas Suicide Prevention HQ. And part of my job as training coordinator includes providing support to our volunteer counselors, as well as our staff counselors, and also engaging in the training process with those volunteer counselors. I'm part of a team that's working on our capacity building grant, and capacity building grants were issued to Lifeline centers across the country. And the goal is to make sure that Kansans dialing 1-800-273-8255, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, is to ensure that those Kansans calling are talking with their local crisis center, which is KSPHQ. So what does capacity building look like in Kansas? I think capacity building looks like increasing the free services that are provided, the free crisis services that are provided to every Kansan. And through the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, we're able to increase access to support that's needed during those moments of crisis. And so building capacity means making sure that we have the number of volunteers that we need to adequately answer the phones, making sure that we're supporting those volunteers and supporting the staff and building the programs that will sustain our ability to answer the lifeline well into the future. Some of you may have heard about 988, and 988 will be the new number for anyone in crisis to call. Much like 911, it is known as the emergency number for police, fire, or medical. 988 is going to be the crisis line for all mental health crises and for people who are experiencing a crisis related to suicide. That hasn't taken effect yet, but Congress has passed the legislation needed to implement 988. So we'll be transitioning over the course of the next 2 years from the 1-800-273-8255 number to 988. And what that will do is really increase access to needed crisis services for people across the country. Having a uniform number, having a number that's put out to people and is front of mind, just like 911, has the potential to increase access. It also has the potential to increase the demand for the service or to increase utilization, which makes building capacity all the more important. And some of the projections out are that there will be an increase of potentially 2 to 3 times in terms of call volume. I think of our donors as some of the most important people who make up our community that is KSPHQ. And each individual person contributes in a meaningful way to the work that's being done at KSPHQ. So when a person donates, it's going directly to support volunteers. It's going directly to the programs that we build and put out to the entire state through the Kansas Suicide Prevention Resource Center. I got involved with headquarters when I was 20 years old. So that was in 2013 in the spring, and I went through volunteer training. And for me, going through volunteer training was a really meaningful experience because I lost my dad to suicide in 2006. So I was around age 13. And knowing the experience of a suicide loss, knowing kind of the complexities and the pain associated with that, led me to need a community or a group of people who also understood what that loss felt like. And going through training, I think, provided me with that space that I needed to tell my own story. And now I really believe that the opportunity for one to share their own story carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of power, and that is, I think, really at the heart of what we're doing through our counseling services and through our crisis services. Is we're giving people space to be heard and to be listened to.
Thanks so much, Jared, for your video. We are really excited about the news about 988. And if you're interested in learning more about becoming a volunteer counselor, please look at our website, ksphq.org. That's all we have for our first hour this morning. Grab yourself another cup of coffee and join me here again at 11 a.m. See you soon. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 11 o'clock hour of our Adventures in Fundraising. For this hour, we wanted to share some pretty exciting news with everybody. Thanks to our incredible friends at the Douglas County Community Foundation and at the CRIS Charitable Fund, we were able to upgrade our call room space to make it easier, larger, safer, and cozier for our volunteer counselors. Due to the COVID crisis, KSPHQ was quickly able to adapt and make it easy and safe for volunteer counselors to stay safe while answering the phones. Due to the grants from the DCCF and the CRIS Charitable Fund, the new call suite and therapy rooms will be open, socially distanced, and clean and sanitized for operation this Monday. Now, KSPHQ can ensure that each volunteer counselor can work comfortably and safely. And I know that all of our amazing volunteer counselors are eager, excited, and incredibly thankful for have the perfect space. Thanks again to our friends at the DCCF and the CRIS Charitable Fund. We know that in times of crisis, calls to suicide prevention centers go up. Since the beginning of March this year, the phone at KSPHQ has rung over 8,000 times. We get about 89 calls per day. Those 89 people are brave. They're choosing to seek help when they know that they need it. And thanks to our donors, there's a trained volunteer counselor there to answer those calls every time. You can be one of those donors. You can have an incredible impact here at KSPHQ. You can be the reason that there's a trained, compassionate person on the other side of the phone when somebody calls in looking for support. You can donate on our Facebook, that big blue button on the top right-hand side of the page. You can go to our website, ksphq.org, and click donate. You can text KSPHQ to 44321, or you can call us this morning at 785-841-9900. This hour, we're going to have a video from Liz, who's the chair of our board of directors. She's going to tell you about what KSPHQ means to her and what it is her role really means as chair on the board of directors.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the 2020 Kansas Suicide Prevention HQ's Telewebitextathon. My name is Liz, and I am currently the chair for the board of directors here at the KSPHQ. People have asked me over time, why did I want to be on the board, and why specifically at the KSPHQ? I have been on boards of directors in the area in the past, and I felt that having that knowledge to bring to the KSPHQ would be helpful. As a small business owner, I'm pretty comfortable with numbers, and the numbers involved with the KSPHQ have grown over the past year or so because we went from 4 staff members at the beginning of 2019 to over 20 today. Those staff members and all of our programs with the Headquarters Counseling Center and the Kansas Suicide Prevention Resource Center are funded by you, our donors, and grant dollars that come in. So when my mother asked me just a few days ago why I keep running online fundraisers and helping with fundraising events for the KSPHQ, she didn't realize that we didn't have any guaranteed income in any given year. Grants have deadlines. Maybe you didn't know that. Most of the time, grants also have very specific purposes for which they can be used. So it's you, our donors, our continued supporters, who really help keep these programs running and keep enabling us to expand our services over time. And I really want to thank you for all of your support over the years. How can you support? Maybe dollars are not the way that you feel like you can support. You can become a volunteer counselor. The adaptable staff at the KSPHQ took all of our counselor training sessions from in-person to online practically overnight back in March. We have trained dozens of volunteer counselors this year, and we currently have a class of 22 just starting their fall 2020 training session. Hopefully, they will be ready to join us in the call room in the very near future. Why the KSPHQ? Why that particular nonprofit? Over the years, suicide has touched my life 4 times, and I felt that I could do more. I'm kind of the luckiest kid in the world. My small business is that I own a horse farm in southern Douglas County, and those horses for many, many years have been my therapy. They have kept me grounded. They have given me purpose over time. I am so incredibly fortunate to have them in my life and to be able to actually share them to some degree by offering equine assisted psychotherapy with one of my colleagues. They're really fascinating creatures. I try to share them with the staff and the volunteers at the KSPHQ whenever I possibly can. Everybody can make a difference. Maybe financially, you're not prepared to do that. Maybe you can run your own fundraiser. You can tell your friends, your family, your colleagues about the resources offered through the KSPHQ. Getting the word out is one of the best things that anybody can do to help promote this organization. Each time I run an online fundraiser, people that I don't even know will donate to it because other people have shared it. The current fundraiser that I have going has donations from Kansans. There's at least one person from California, from New York, from Colorado, from Oregon. And those are my personal friends who have been very generous with their time and money to support my efforts with the KSPHQ. And again, people want to help. All they need to do is know that the opportunity is there. Another reason I got involved with the KSPHQ, and that I've said many times over the years, is that everybody needs somebody. I am extremely fortunate to have, as I said before, the horses in my life to keep me grounded, and a really great support system of family and friends and colleagues at the KSPHQ. While I have not experienced the same things as people in crisis or people contemplating suicide, I can be considerate of the fact that those things happen for other people. And that is why I want the KSPHQ to always be available for anyone in need. For over 50 years, we have been available to all of Kansas, and we will continue to do that in the years to come with your generous support. So thank you again for your continued support and for being here today. And I just want to leave with a paraphrase from a man named Charlie Mackesy, who is a fantastic artist and writer. And consider that perhaps the bravest thing that someone can ever say is help. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon.
We are so thankful to Liz and all of our board of directors who work tirelessly with us to lead this organization into the future. Liz stated in her video, but she starts many fundraisers for us. She has one actively going right now. We could not be where we are today without the fundraisers from our friends, family, community, volunteers, board of directors, and staff who are working every day to get donations and gifts to help us stay up and running. Thank you to Liz and our entire board of directors for all the money that you help us raise throughout the year. I do want to give you a couple more updates about some money we've raised during this fundraiser. We want to give a big shout out to Mary Kaufman, who we heard from yesterday, who was kind enough to give us a donation overnight. We also want to thank Tom, Mary Lynn, and Leslie, who have also given us donations during this fundraiser, and Zach, all the way from Oklahoma. We stated a couple times, we have a couple donations from Oklahoma. We have a couple from Colorado. Let's see some from Nebraska, maybe one or two more from Missouri, and I guess maybe some from Kansas too. We want to thank everybody who has already donated with us. It costs $25 to answer one phone call to save one life. If you and 9 of your friends, family, and peers donate $100, that will answer 40 phone calls. That will save the lives of 40 people in your Kansas communities. I cannot think of a bigger impact than that. Thank you so much for spending another hour with me this morning. Come back at 12 o'clock for our final hour where we will wrap up our Tele-Webitextathon. See you soon. Hey, everybody. I'm Allie, the Development Officer at KSPHQ, and you are joining me for our final hour of KSPHQ Presents Adventures in Fundraising, a tele-weba textathon. We have been streaming across all of our social media accounts today and yesterday to raise money for suicide prevention through education, support, and crisis services provided by the Kansas Suicide Prevention HQ. One more time, I want to give a really big thank you to our media sponsor, Kansas Public Radio. We want to send them a huge thank you for being a great part of this community and an awesome friend to us. We really value the relationship we have with our local radio station. Visit kansaspublicradio.org to see if you are in a KPR or KPR2 listening area. If you're outside one of those areas, please consider supporting your local public broadcasting station. I want to give an update on how much money we have raised over the course of this fundraiser. We have raised over $1,000 over the past 24 hours, ever since this fundraiser started at 1 p.m. yesterday. And I know we will continue to get more donations as these videos get liked, shared, and loved. Now, for this final hour, we want to give you a video from our president and CEO, Steve, who's going to talk about the vision that KSPHQ has for the future.
Hello, everyone. My name is Steve DeVore, and I'm very honored and proud to serve as president and CEO of the KSPHQ. Our organization was born over 50 years ago with a very simple goal in mind: to help those individuals who need help the most. And 50 years later, we continue to be dedicated to achieving that same goal. What started as an effort to help individuals that were addicted to drugs and going through some form of a drug crisis evolved into us helping individuals through a mental health crisis, and ultimately landed us as the largest and most comprehensive suicide prevention organization in the state of Kansas. There have been a number of things that we can attribute our success to over the past 50 years. We've had highly educated and talented staff. We've got amazing and passionate volunteers, and we have local communities that have helped us when we needed help the most. Oftentimes I'm asked, what does the next 50 years look like? And my answer is relatively short. We must stay the course. We must continue doing those things that have allowed us to be successful over the past 50 years. Unfortunately, there are still way too many headlines in newspapers and across television about individuals that have chosen to die by suicide. There is still a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done in educating individuals, providing support materials, and just promoting awareness of suicide and suicide prevention. There may be other things that we encounter as we move forward into the next 50 years that our society will demand of us to provide in helping those who need help the most. And I can promise you this: it doesn't matter what that is, our organization has the ability, has the expertise, has the compassion and the dedication to responding to whatever that call may be. I am very honored and proud to look forward into the next 50 years and know that we are in a position to continue to provide the services and resources throughout the state that not only will change people's lives, but will ultimately save lives. We can never measure our level of success by the number of dollars we've raised or the footprint towards the size of our office. We must measure our success in a declining number of suicide attempts, declining number of individuals that have died by suicide. Looking into the next 50 years, the things that we are going to need to rely upon most is going to be financial support. Financial support from the state of Kansas, from our local communities and municipalities, from businesses, and from grants, and most importantly, from individuals like you. We must continue to secure additional dollars that's going to help us provide resources to those individuals who need help the most. We must also continue to strengthen our volunteers. 988 is going to be coming on board soon. That is going to double, if not triple, the demand that we have in our call room. We have to be able to respond with bringing more volunteers in to answer those phones. We need to be able to have volunteers that feel very comfortable throughout the entire state, having very positive conversations within their own communities about ways they can make a difference. We need to be able to have communities become aware of the services that we do provide so that as we come into those communities, they can rely upon us to help them help their own citizens. But again, whatever that call is in the future, KSPHQ will be here, will be ready, and we will be able to respond at a moment's notice to whatever that call may be. I want to thank each of you for participating in this event this weekend. I challenge each one of you to go out and start a positive conversation about suicide prevention. Give out our phone numbers, give out cards, give out services that we can be able to provide. But ultimately know you are part of the KSPHQ family. And as family, we stick together. We're going to fight this good fight. And at one point in the future, as we all look back on the past 50 years, we will collectively know we did everything that we could to change the lives of those who needed our help the most. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for your continued support. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for that inspiring video. We cannot thank everybody who has donated or sent thoughtful messages enough. The impact that you have on our organization is tremendous. The people who work here, like Alan, Monica, and Erica, the people who volunteer here, like Cam, and the people who support us through donations, like Mary and Bob and everyone I've mentioned over the past 24 hours, all value KSPHQ for the work that we do here for everybody in the community. By donating during this fundraiser, you have become a part of something bigger. You have chosen to help build a community that cares for one another. You are literally saving lives. Just because our 24-hour telewebitextathon is coming to a close does not mean that you still cannot donate. Again, there are many ways that you can donate to show support for this organization, and we've included some of the handy-dandy links in the description of these videos. If you're just getting to watch this broadcast after Saturday at 12 o'clock, don't worry. All those wonderful ways of showing your support are always going to be available to you. You can always donate through our Facebook page. You can always go to our website and click the donate button. And you can always text KSPHQ to 44321. Or you could simply drop a check in the mail. We're not taking any more phone calls today, so please do not call our direct line. But if you or someone you know needs to talk and is struggling through a crisis, please find our crisis lines on our website at ksphq.org. And remember, we do have a board member, Neil, who has pledged to match up to $500 of money that we have made during this fundraiser. It is not too late. I want to thank Kristen from Lawrence, who donated in the last hour for this fundraiser. Thank you very much. And one big last thank you to everybody who tuned in, participated, shared, liked, comment, and donated during our 24-hour event. We could not do what we do without you. KSPHQ, our staff, our volunteers, and our donors work hard to prevent suicide. We know that through compassion, means restriction, and professional intervention, that suicide is preventable. I hope that you will join me in working to achieve our goal. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful and safe rest of your day and weekend. And remember, if you or anyone you know is struggling and needs to talk, please call us at 1-800-273-8255. That service is free, confidential, and always available. Just because we're wrapping up our videos, I want to leave you with this one last message. Please like and share and watch these videos. Engage your friends and community for our cause. And this last video is for you. This is a message of hope.
You matter. You are important.
Asking for help isn't giving up. it's refusing to give up.
Whatever your struggle is, we know that it's real and valid, and we want to support you. So please give yourself the compassion that you need and deserve by reaching out for help.
You are not alone.
You are stronger than this challenge, and this challenge is making you even stronger.
You are worthwhile.
You matter. You matter. Your life and your experiences and your feelings are important, and you bring value to everybody around you.
You are important, you're valued, and you're loved.
Someone can help you.
And you deserve help.
Reaching out for help is not always easy. Sometimes it feels awkward. Sometimes you might ugly cry. But as hard as it is, it's really important. Please reach out when you need help.
I hope for each of you that you remain strong, you be patient, you just be you.
You are loved and valuable, and we're here to listen whenever.
When things become too much for you to bear, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means they're heavy. And some things are just too much for one person to carry on their own. You don't have to be crushed by that weight.
Well, I want you to know, no matter how bad things feel, there's someone who really cares for you. That's me when I'm answering the phone, listening to your concerns, helping you find resources. There is hope.